more than 40 crore people have just seen the India Pakistan game. That was the
Coming to the Super 8s over here, groupings. There's a lot of discussion on this preceding. Came as a shock to you. New Zealand leaving or Pakistan leaving?
Definitely New Zealand leaving came as a shock to me. Nicholas Puran smashed a fire in 98.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah, that was.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Catch My Point. We have with us Sharada Sridharan, an analyst, a coach, chartered accountant, or a company secretary. Company secretary by profession, but an ardent cricket fan who joins us today to discuss the whole Super 8, the preceding concept, and what she thinks of it, who she thinks are the players who are likely to have a lot of impact, and the teams that are likely to cause a lot of upsets. So, Shara, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Akka, for having me.
My pleasure. So, what did you think? Did you ever think that USA will be here, or what came as a shock to you? New Zealand leaving or Pakistan leaving?
Definitely, New Zealand leaving came as a shock to me because I thought they were a decent side at least to make it in the Super 8. Pakistan, having seen USA's recent form, especially against Bangladesh just before the start of the T20 World Cup, and comparing it with Pakistan's recent T20 cricket form. So it was kind of, I can say, 20% was expected. But New Zealand going out was definitely a shocker for me.
Yeah, 2014, since then, they have not ever been eliminated before a semi-final.
Exactly, and they are one of the most consistent teams when it comes to ICC events. They play the semi-finals or the finals, and they are known for their keeping their calm under a lot of pressure.
So let's just blame it on the uniform and get going with it. Anyway, so coming to the Super 8s over here, groupings. There's a lot of discussion on this preceding, which makes it at some point seem that you had to make certain teams play against each other for the sake of a lot of other reasons outside of just playing the sport. What do you think about this preceding?
See, absolutely. See, beyond a point, you need to make a sport accessible to, many parts of the world which don't have an exposure to it because there is a commercial side to any sports. However, as ardent cricketers, cricket fans, or as ex-players, we might deny this, but there is a commercial aspect which plays, an equal amount of role. And if you see some statistics, so since the start of the T20 World Cup, more than 40 crore people have just seen the India Pakistan game. That was the audience for just the India Pakistan game. When you compare it with an NFL, which had just 14 crore viewers. So if one India Pakistan game can do a massive difference, to this kind of an event, taking it to the US and promoting it amongst a whole new audience who don't even know about cricket, you have a lot of scope for cricket in the country. And as you know, in US there are a lot of Indians, there are a lot of Pakistanis, who are very, very much more than willing to take up the sport. So it plays a massive role, and that is why compared to the 8 or 10 teams which usually participate in a World Cup, there are 20 teams participating in the World Cup, which is a massive thing for a sport. So once the sport reaches so many regions, and there is also a lot of scope for making revenue, a lot of talent coming up, making it difficult for the settled teams, like India and England, Australia, all the teams like that. So the more the competition, the game quality improves. So why not?
So talking about England, they also just about made it. The whole concept of Scotland. Scotland was a brilliant team. There are a lot more shows coming up on Scotland as well. So if you keep watching this, you'll get to know more about that as a country. So let's come to this particular grouping and all that. Which team do you think is going to cause an upset? Which are the teams you think? What are your four semi-finalists looking like?
Okay, so I am definitely going with India as one of the semi-finalists, and Australia will be my number two. Three will be West Indies because absolutely they have been playing quality cricket in the last 1 week or so. They have Akil Hussain doing extremely well for them, and even Nicholas Puran smashed a fire in 98.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah, that was an amazing game. And if you also see the track record of these three teams, they have won the games, like won all the four games without much of a sweat. Of course, the West Indies team had a close game. They won.
India Pakistan was close. India,
Yeah, but India, Pakistan, it
India
was
USA
closer.
was closer.
It was closer in phases, but you always kind of knew that India is going to come out on top. Of course, West Indies had a close game where they won one game by 13 runs. So yeah, hiccups were there, but West Indies is always a force to reckon with when
This
it comes to
format.
T20 cricket. They are unpredictable. They can do anything out of the blue, and of course they have the home advantage as well. So these three teams, and the fourth one is gonna be toughy. So I would say, mm,
Afghanistan.
maybe England or Afghanistan. England or Afghanistan. Yes.
I have a feeling Afghanistan could be one of the contenders for sure because they're playing the most consistent cricket they have in many years. Apart from this West Indies match, I think they were very consistent. They are solid in their setup. They know who the batters are, who are the bowlers who are going to pick up wickets in which phases of the game. And towards the end as well, they seem to be very sure of how many runs they are likely to get in the death overs. So much of clarity has come thanks to a fantastic 50-over World Cup that they have. And I think their belief system has kind of just rocketed.
Absolutely. Do you also think a lot of Afghanistan cricketers go around and play a lot of T20 leagues? They play the IPL, they play the Big Bash League. Those kind of experiences, do you think have helped
100%.
them?
Like with not just the Big Bash League, your ILT20s. I think that is exactly where they've gained all this experience from. And going forward, more than a Gurbaz, there are so many other players like an Omar Zai, all of them, who are going to definitely be. There's a Gurbaz, there is a Rashid Khan now. I feel Omar Zai will be your next best person who is going to be a sought after league cricketer. Definitely that's helping them. Great. So, another uh, tricky question. Who do you think could be the game changers for, say, somebody like an Indian team, other than a Jasprit Bumrah?
Okay.
I'm going to eliminate him
Okay.
because we need players other than him. What if he fails?
Yeah, I think moving into West Indies for the Super 8 stage, I think the wickets are going to not be as quick as we had in the group stages. So there might be a lot more help for spinners. So maybe I feel someone like Kuldeep or someone like a Chahal might come into play in the Super 8s because the wickets might give them a lot more assistance. So one wrist spinner is definitely going to be key for India, whomever plays. And I also
Okay, wrist spinner is there. Who do you eliminate?
okay.
Aksar seems to be playing more as a batter, but he's also doing the bowling. Jadeja hasn't done much of that.
Yeah, much of that. So
Do you think Indian team will take the risk of dropping a Jadeja?
no, I don't think. Unfortunately, Aksar might make the cut. But it's very subjective.
And make the cut, doesn't he? Might be cut off.
Yeah, cut off. I mean, like he might be cut off because just that they would want to have a wrist spinner playing in those type of conditions, which might help them get more wickets. And coming to the batting, we all know Virat Kohli hasn't fired so far in the tournament, but in the most crucial stages, it's where his best comes out, I believe. And I think he is going to be very crucial for India's chances in the Super 8, especially in games against Australia and Afghanistan.
Do you think Jaiswal has a chance?
Mm,
A lefty
At this-
right at the top.
at this stage, since India has their opening combination set,
But it's not working for them. It's not firing for them.
yeah, but I would say just in three games they would not want to do more changes coming into the Super 8. So that's my take. What's your take?
I think Jaiswal should be playing.
Okay.
In the place of God only knows. I wish 12 people can play, but yeah,
Okay.
Jaiswal I thought would, having picked him as the opening slot, pick him there. Get Virat Kohli to play at
Three.
number 3.
Okay.
Like I said, the compromise will have to be coming in the form of a bowler, or you might have to drop a Sky. Very difficult choice, but those are choices you'll have to make because if your opening partnership does not fire as often as it's not fired here, other teams will find it very easy because Virat Kohli's wicket is a big wicket.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
he's a game changer, like we just speaking about. So I think you should have him in a position that he's played for India more often than not. Forget about the league. I think if he's played for India at number 3 successfully, he should play there for India successfully.
Okay, so do you think India will take a chance by dropping someone like a Sky, especially after his performance against the USA?
I think it's a chance you have to take as you would with Aksar.
Okay.
I, in fact, would rather drop a Jadeja because Aksar is also a good fielding option. You are bringing in a bowler who is going to pick up wickets. So that is the context in which you're bringing in a Kuldeep or a Chahal, not under any other context. Moving on from India, Australia.
Okay, so Australia, Marcus Stoinis is going to be key because he's in absolutely, terrific form, I would say. He just seems to hit everything coming his way, and
True.
I think he's seeing the cricket ball like a football right now. So he's going to be key. And
Zampa.
yes, I was about to say Zampa.
I mean, I feel he's going to be very keen, no?
Yeah.
Leg spinner. Which is why, there's a Rashid Khan playing, getting wickets, there's a Zampa playing wickets, and India is not playing a wrist spinner.
Wrist spinner, yeah, exactly. So I think, going into the Super 8s, they might want to reconsider this part and maybe, get a wrist spinner as ASAP.
You and I can plan for many things. It should happen there.
Yeah, I know.
So, Rahul
what
sir, if you're watching, wrist spinner, please.
Yeah. What are your, two picks for Afghanistan, and who would be your fourth semi-finalist?
Afghanistan.
Okay.
The other option is South Africa for me. They're playing inconsistent cricket. They are this eternal underdogs, I like to call them. But I have a feeling there is something different in David Miller this time. He's a key cricketer. So if it's not Afghanistan, I think it could be South Africa.
Okay, so you are not taking England into consideration.
No.
Okay.
They got here by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah,
if I'd like somebody to see eliminated, it'd be Australia. That is the only way I see India winning this.
Okay.
Take Australia out of the picture, then India maybe has a fair chance. Just like the women's team.
Women's
Bring Australia and then we lose.
Yeah.
Bring any other team, we have a fair chance.
We are winning, yeah.
So that's it. West Indies, again, dark horses. They have a very, very long batting lineup. Shaf and Rutherford coming in at number 7 and scoring those runs. So like you said, they could be potential winners as well.
Absolutely.
So at this stage of the game, in this format, their batting is this carefree attitude where they explode, express themselves to the maximum. I feel Andre Russell is somebody who will actually make a lot of difference, his bowling, batting, and his stops. One mesmerizing stop I saw of his own bowling, where he dived to the right, rolled and picked up the ball. I was thinking, is this guy getting younger? In his younger days, he didn't do as well. He
didn't do as much as...
And here he is just letting it all rip. It's fantastic. So yeah, it's a great Super 8. Like you said, this game has gone global. We have countries participating from across the globe. There is a Nepal that's turning heads. There's a Scotland that's turning heads. There's a PNG who came into it. Yes, they didn't play great cricket in the context of the World Cup. But to be there and to do what they did, I think it deserves a big round of applause.
Absolutely. And even Nepal, they won almost pulled off a game against South Africa.
Their opening game against USA was a high-scoring game. Both teams played brilliantly well. So all things looking really good for world cricket, and I hope this soon translates into some quality cricket with the women as well. We too will always talk about the women because that's how we go. And I on that note, continue to watch the India-South Africa women that's happening in India, in Bangalore and in Chennai. Today is a day-night affair. It's going to be a really, really good one. Expect a good South African comeback. And if you like what you hear here, and if you like the partnership with Sharda, do like, share and subscribe to Coach Aarti. See you soon.